last College Cup, I think Nico and Kyle, the only two starters that are back. And that's not that long ago. What does it say about your program as you're able to, here we are 2 years later and you're still, going to the NCAA tournament and one of the favorites maybe to get to the College Cup?
I think I didn't even think about it that way, John. We're not one of the favorites to go to the College Cup. If we were, we'd be the 1 through 4 seed. But I would say that it's only been a year ago. That's the crazy part. Right? It's only one season. This season feels like 2 years, but it's only been one. So obviously, Holland Ruler would have been in that starting lineup, but he got hurt the day before we left for the Final Four. So unfortunately, we have that experience, at least from NCAA tournament games, to be brought in. And but yeah, it's humbling to think that this group has come together maybe as fast as it needed to. This spring. I mean, I say, is our fall team arguably the best team in the country. Our spring team can beat anybody in the country, and we have a long way to go to prove our value and our worth right now. In the big, I guess, in the big picture, against all the other teams. But I think we're the youngest team, hands down, in the NCAA championship. We're the only team without any seniors. But at the same time, it's invaluable experience for people like Kyle, and for Nico, to lead this early on in their careers. I say early on because normally it would be next year, or Nico in 2 years. But using that experience that they did get last fall. Now you got me confused. The year 19 when we went to a Final Four. And I think Kyle and I have had meetings where just trying to let the young guys know that it's different in the postseason than it is in the regular season. The one thing that we've looked at positively is that no one's career is over if we lose this postseason, which is a little bit different than in the fall, right? We know, hey, we played a postseason, which we did, the ACC tournament. We know careers were over at Wake Forest because of performances, and losses. So that's something where we can go in a little bit more free and hopefully enjoy the experience a little bit more.
Kyle, what do you tell the younger guys? Because you've been through the NCAA tournament and all that. I mean, do you just say that, you don't want to say end all, the be all, but what's kind of your go-to statement when they ask you about the tournament?
I mean, I think it's just people have to understand that it's just a different mentality that you need to win games in the tournament. Every team is playing win or go home. And I mean, almost none of this team, especially even a lot of the starters, haven't ever played in an NCAA tournament. And I think the mentality, we can't get complacent feeling like we haven't lost this spring or feeling like, it's just Coastal Carolina. I mean, they're a very good team. And I think everybody just needs to keep locked in and understand that, you can't make mistakes in the NCAA tournament. You make one and it can be over really quick. There's no second chances. So I think the guys are coming around to it. And I think I've been proud of this group, the way they've worked and the mentality that's shifted since, the regular season's ended. So I'm looking forward to this.
Hey, Kyle, I got a question. It will have been a month since you all have had a game that counted. You had the exhibition against Villanova, right? But aside from that, it will be a month between games that have actually counted. How does that change the way you've prepared for this NCAA tournament versus previous years?
I don't think it changes that much. I still think that we work as hard as we do in training, and coach always says that training should be harder than games, no matter who we're playing, and we're playing against each other, and that should be the best competition. So, maybe give a little extra at training to make it a little bit tougher and maybe try to simulate a tough game a little more. But I don't think it's that much of a difference. I think training, regardless of whether we're playing games right before or a month before, it's still training is where we're going to get better and where it's going to be the hardest. So I don't think it's that big of a change.